So I'm going to try and get this message out before I forget. Channel message. From a young age, you were taken over by darkness. You became it. You lost who you were. And the thing is, though, you had to learn how to love. You hear the whoosh? You had to relearn how to love because you started from a place of love. You started capable of love, full of it, vibrating with it. And then it was gone. By circumstance, by destruction, by pain, by guilt. You became the antithesis of love. And you had to learn how to do that again. You had to learn to love that child, yourself. And maybe, like me, you don't even really remember who that was. But I love him. And this blending of your dark and your light can only happen when you fully become your darkness. And then learn to love again. Look at all of the greatest loves in history. Maybe not even history, maybe in mythology or stories. The monster that is still capable of love will burn the world to save the person that he loves. It's a love that doesn't compare because they've never cared about someone so much. And this is what you have to know about your self-love right now. Because you had to become that. You had to become that darkness in order to survive. And you probably hated that weak little child for so long because you weren't them anymore, because you didn't remember who they were, because it wasn't you in the first place. It wasn't me. I already didn't identify with that child. I didn't remember him. I didn't know him. And when I would hear stories, it made me hate him even more. Because they would remind me that he was weak, that he was a crybaby. And even though I knew he was good-natured and full of love for everyone and everything, picking up wounded birds all the time and trying to nurse them back to health, like doing anything he could to make any random person in his life feel better. That didn't offset the weakness. That didn't offset that he was a little crybaby. That didn't offset the fact that everybody pushed him away. They couldn't stand him. And I couldn't stand him. I couldn't understand how that was ever me. And then when my sisters would tell me stories, like years and years later, I don't remember it. But they saw that version of me. They knew that version of me. They remember that version of me. And it was difficult to talk to them, to face them, because it wasn't just that they knew that version of me. They knew the cold version. They knew the ruthless version without compassion. Because when I turned it off, it was off. And I didn't love that version either. But that version knew how to survive anything except himself. He couldn't survive himself. So I die again. For the second time. By choice. 100 times in my head before I actually make an attempt, or make a plan rather. I guess I can't call it an attempt. I planned it out 100 times. Teetering on the edge of destruction. Until one day, it's just what I was doing. And when I hit my limit, there was no more. There was nothing left in me that could keep on living that way. And for the first time in my life, the end was not checking out early. The solution was not checking out early. It was fixing the problem. And I've been unraveling myself for 2 years. Patterns and patterns, layers, emotions, bonds with people, memories coming back. And this is maybe the earliest pain I can remember. That feeling of not knowing who I was before, but hating him. And the feeling of survival. And being willing to do anything to get, not even get ahead, but just to survive. Just to make it. Just to be somewhere and not be under fire by everybody and everything. Because for a long time, I was just under fire. No matter where I went, no matter what I did, no matter who was there. I had one person to protect. And when I finally started healing, it was no longer a vibrational match. And I realized that I was trapped in that cycle with him. I was trapped in that state of survival and self-loathing and stagnation with the one person that I was supposed to be able to count on. And so, codependency had to be healed. I have been stripped raw, down to my bones. And it feels almost like I'm seeing a parasite or an ingrown hair or something like latched deep into the spirit that has its anchor like in the middle of your soul, deep inside, and it's being pulled out right now like a tendril of hair or a parasite. Because that entire time, I needed that pain to survive. Because it's all that I knew. Because that is who I've been as long as I can remember. And I don't need to be that anymore. Not just that. I'm so much more than that now. But this is removing the anchor.